the champion, the machine, James Wade! We now welcome a twice Euro Tour finalist, a winner of 4 Players' Championship titles. He's the reigning PDC champion of the world, Voltage, Rob Cross!
Mensur Suljevic out this afternoon. Defending champion Peter Wright out this afternoon. Will the world champion Rob Cross be knocked out this afternoon at the hands of the, well, legendary James Wade? Final game of the afternoon session here at the European Darts Grand Prix. The last remaining spot in the quarterfinals up for grabs. It is Rob Cross, the world champ, against the machine James Wade.
Game on.
Chris Murphy in commentary with me, Dan Dawson. It's your last one of the afternoon.
Yeah, and we've seen some fantastic matches already. Neither of these players had it easy yesterday. Rob Cross 140 was by far the better player against Vincent van der Voort, but could only win 6-5, and James Wade a 6-4 success against John Henderson in a close battle against the Highlander. And we have seen several close battles this afternoon. We had a hat-trick of 6-5s to kick off the day as Van Gerwen, Chisnell and Jamie Lewis came through against Darren Webster, Ian White and Paul Nicholson. Danny Noppert knocking out the defending champion Peter Wright. Only Michael Van Gerwen left in the field and has won on that stage before. Well, he'll be the first man to do it twice.
For my money, this has been one of the greatest sessions of European Tour darts that I have witnessed in the 5 years I've had of covering them.
Yeah,
it has been a mix of everything. Quality, drama,
100.
tension, close games. It's been superb.
Yeah, well, you've been involved in more sessions on the European Tour than anyone, Dan. So that is high praise indeed.
60. Then you're 161.
Now then. No need to go for it, and that is pragmatic Wadey.
But 99.
Not sure what's happened today, because all right, there's been some good performances in previous days, but Peter Wright had 110 average yesterday. That was by far the best, but everyone seems to be playing well this afternoon. Wade wants double 10. Doesn't find it, but he's a long way ahead of Rob Cross.
Well, it's only really Jermaine Wattimena who didn't perform this afternoon, isn't it? Because even Kyle Anderson, who's the only other guy to have lost without going to 4 or 5 legs. I mean, he averaged in the very high 90s and really came back strongly against Joe Cullen. Mensur Suljovic has averaged over 100 and lost 6-4. It's only really Jermaine who's not gone and put in a world-class display, and that is a phenomenal strike rate. You just see Rob Cross here. I'm not sure. I don't think this is deliberate. He seems to have a DIY Nike tick of marker pen on his throwing arm. He must have signed something and either lent on it or just somebody's... it wouldn't put it past these titans of the sport to have just gone up and drawn on him for a laugh in the players' room.
Yeah.
140.
A tick on Cross.
It's quite good for you.
Not a very high bar, Dan.
140.
True enough. James Wade comfortably taking that first leg. Rob Cross looking to respond in kind, but struggling to find a treble on this visit.
40.
Both these men searching for their first titles of the year.
Yeah, and perhaps whichever one wins, I'd suggest might be the favourite with the odds compilers to go through to reach a final, although it will not be easy.
123.
Alan Whitlock looked good. That's the opponent that would await the winner. Joe Cullen has been in fantastic form on the Euro Tour in particular, and will have the bit between his teeth, having narrowly missed out on a final place in Austria.
Double top.
On the second leg, Rob Cross, James.
Bit more like Rob Cross after a slightly sluggish opening leg. I'm going to give you some numbers here, Murph. I want you to see if you can interpret them.
140.
Go ahead.
6, 9, 5, 1, and then 1 and counting. What do you think that is?
6. Tell me them again.
6, 9, 5, 1, and 1. And counting that last one.
140.
I'm absolutely bamboozled by what you've just said, Dan Dawson, not for the first time.
They are the number of finals that James Wade has been involved in each of the previous years, as Rob Cross puts in a maximum. And it just goes to show, six finals, 9 finals in a year. That was 2015. Another 5 the year after that. Only 1 last year, and he's made 1 this year. And it's indicative of how the slump that James Wade suffered and how he is working his way back. He was playing some of the worst starts of his career last year, but he's been playing some very, very encouraging things this year.
Yep, certainly has. Looking at the 12 segment, the treble leaves him double 13. Very encouraging start in this one for James Wade, holding firm on throw. And that might have needed to go because Rob Cross had left himself 95 after 9.
You know, well, Rob Cross averaged 102 against Vincent van der Voort, but that climbed and climbed and climbed as the game went on, when he was forced to find some better stuff to see Vincent off, because it was getting very, very tricky. Even though Vincent's average, his own average, was nowhere near Rob Cross's in that game. Nearly produced the 9 darter, of course, missed double 18.
And I have to say, for all the 9 dart attempts we've had on the European Tour, of which there have been many non-successful for 5 years, that one had the sense that the time might have come. Rob Cross on 144, 2 treble 18s, double 18. I just thought that the moment had arrived, and I'm not the only one who held that opinion.
Well, you thought wrong.
90.
Again, not for the first time.
True enough. Real chance of a break of throw coming in here for James Wade, because that leaves him a Shanghai finish. Is it time for some typical wading that could get him the advantage in this one? Beat Rob Cross last time out when they met in a quarter-final of a Pro Tour event earlier this year. Double 20 needed. Double 20 needed. Prime wading for a break.
Yeah, it really was. Typical James Wade stuff. 120 finish from the machine. And he is in pole position here to knock out
100.
number 3 seed. The number 2 seed has already gone. Peter Wright beaten. And that would be the top 2 seeds from the bottom half of the draw.
And remember, James Wade, he made the first 2 semi-finals, the first 2 Euro Tours, I should say, and the only man that could stop him was Peter Wright, playing phenomenally well in both of those semi-finals. Peter Wright ain't here. Well, he is. He's back in the practice room, but he won't be here for much longer.
Yeah, and the one that was beaten early in Austria, he was beaten by Johnny Clayton with 105 average.
How well did he do in the tournament in the end?
The Ferret?
Yeah.
The Ferret went on to finish first.
Catapulting himself up
100.
the PDC Order of Merit.
Yep.
Of course, he is already number 1 in the PDC Order of Ferret.
Ah, the Ferrets rise up the Order of Merit. See what you've done there, Dan. Yeah. And look at what Rob Cross has done there.
You've got 161.
Loves the 18 segment. Rob Cross is he the best treble 18 hitter in the game?
You can make a very strong case for it.
Going 96.
We'll come back looking at the treble 18 segment if Wade fails to take this out. Wade does fail to take this out. So is Rob Cross the best treble 18 hitter in the game?
Whether he hits this treble 18 or not won't really prove that point.
But it would underline it nicely if he did.
Shocking.
Well, Rob saw the funny side of it as well.
Yeah, has he got some earphones and he's listening? I'm going to throw this one in the 4.
Oh, what a dart that is. Double top to break straight back. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, break back. Would need another to win. But again, we're looking like we're going to see a very closely contested fight here.
Well, and another high quality one by the first 5 legs of this. And our mate, the Red Bit on Twitter, has just picked up on that point made earlier about this being one of, if not the best, Euro Tour session of darts we've seen. 500 plus averages, around 99 in the overall average. And if you take that 100 average as a benchmark of world-class darts, 99 overall average for the session, almost half of doubles hit. I mean, that is real world-class stuff. And this Sindelfingen crowd have been treated to some proper entertainment this afternoon. And it looks like we're going to get plenty more in this game.
134.
Rob Cross, a well-known, established name now on the tour, of course, as the world champion. Let's not forget, only a couple of years ago, he was plying his trade on the Challenge Tour. We say well done to Michael Barnard, who picked up the title today, beating Andy Jenkins in the final of the 11th event of the year. Jenkins, a man who used to play around a few doubles games with James Wade when Wade was a young upstart in the sport. Now one of the biggest names in darts. This would be a big shot with Wade waiting on top. It's not going to happen.
140.
Great setup shot from Rob Cross, but not as good as that 171 from James Wade to leave tops. Working his way down. There was a sense of inevitability about James Wade pinning that one. It is a 3rd consecutive break of throw, and Wade has established that little bit of a gap once more. Cross does lead the head-to-heads. He's won 4 of their 6 previous meetings. In fact, they met very early on in Rob Cross's PDC career. He won his opening match against James Wade. It was a first-round encounter. He went on to make the semi-finals. That was in the UK Open qualifiers. That was the first big run we saw from Rob Cross as a fully-fledged PDC pro. Admittedly, the very next day, Wade got some revenge and beat him 6-3, but...
Well, it could have been the first really big win, couldn't it, for Rob Cross?
Yeah, well, I think he might have beaten Simon Whitlock in his very first tournament. But he was ticking those names off his list very, very, very quickly.
Would have some symmetry, because if he does manage to overturn Wade here, he'll be Whitlock in the next round.
He's got a lot of work to do. Because James Wade has left himself to finish after 9 darts once again.
You're going 161.
161, not going to go, and the 128 might have to.
Treble 18 segment, isn't it?
43.
Couple of treble 18s to leave double 10.
128.
Treble 20 and ball will work. We can't find it. Does get a treble 18, but Wade is left with another one of those. Oh, Wadey.
Very unwadey.
Even he's surprised.
Well, can Cross clean up?
36.
Double 18. 13 dart leg, breaks again.
Evening Rob to throw first. Game on.
Easy to forget because James Wade is, well, it's not easy to forget if you're looking at the screen and you don't see a little seeding next to his name. But because he's such an established player, one of the all-time greats of the sport, I mentioned the previous round, but that James Wade has been unseeded in all 5 European Tour events so far this year. So he had to beat a winner on the Euro Tour on Friday, Max Hopp, before getting past Henderson to get to this stage. So that's all about to change, isn't it?
It is, because his performances have forced his way up the 1-year Order of Merit system, the Pro Tour Order of Merit, and that is what they base the seedings on. Both of these men averaging 100 right now. Rob Cross, you look at the Players' Championship events. All right, he had a mare last time out. He got done 6-0 by Martin Schindler and averaged in the 80s. But only 3 times out of 10 has he been averaging less than 100 when he's been beaten. One of those was against James Wade. He was averaging 102, and Wade beat him with a 99 average. But Rob Cross hasn't won a title this year, but it's not as if he's just capitulated and played a rubbish game every time he's turned up to a tournament and eventually gone out. People have had to do incredible things to stop him. Even one of those sub-100 averages was a 98.9. So there's only really 2 bad games that he's had in 10 events. It just so happens that they've coincided with somebody playing really well, and he's gone out of tournament. And this could be a level game, and we could have yet another tense. Oh, he didn't like that. It was a bit close to the double 17. That one's very close to the double 60. This could be another game going all the way.
There would be 5 out of 8 that have gone the full distance. Another couple have gone 10 out of the possible 11 legs. So it's not just been the quality, the figures that have made this afternoon session so attractive, but the drama as well.
140.
Look at that. 101 average the pair. And James Wade outscoring Rob Cross in the first 9. And that is significant because, as I say, I keep bringing us back to the Players' Championship series of events because we've had 10 of them. I think you can draw some decent inferences from that. Rob Cross tops that list on the first 9 average. Above Van Gogh and above Anderson. And once again, it's a big scoring visit from James Wade in that first 9.
Yeah, his first 180 of the match gets him down to a possible 2 dart out for a possible 11 dart leg. Not going to go in this visit because Rob Cross is so far behind that Wade didn't need to bother.
Only a 180 will do for Rob Cross here. He's not going to get it. So James Wade is going to get a couple of visits to see off 40, and usually he only needs 1 or 2 darts.
But he's used one, and he only needed to use two. And Rob Cross will need 2 legs to deny James Wade a passage into the last 8 tonight, and a meeting with Simon Whitlock, another man who's had many great battles with, but this one's not over yet.
Well, when his back was against the wall against Vincent van der Voort, he produced some stunning stuff. Good Rob Cross. He's going to have to produce more against James Wade here.
Well, he's well placed to force another 11th leg shootout here at the Glass Palace this afternoon.
100.
And the world champion against the man who's won just about everything but the sport's biggest title will face off, surely, in one leg of darts for a place in this evening's session. 88 required for Rob Cross to make that a reality.
Double 10 it is then. Oh, dear me. Well, it's a good job he's coming back and having another crack. But it does look like we're going to have James Wade, for so long regarded as the
100.
last leg expert,
20.
against Rob Cross, a man who has shown he's completely oblivious to context. Beat Michael van Gerwen in the last leg, sudden death leg in the World Championship semi-final. And we are going all the way.
Rob Cross just having a glance to see what James Wade has produced in his first visit, and he will be delighted to hear the call of only 60.
And a ropey looking 60 at that for James Wade, who's been so consistently in and around that treble 20 bed. Advantage cross. Oh!
120.
Well, you could not do that again. And James Wade rubs it in. A ropey looking 60 in the first visit. And then James Wade tidies it up to some effect.
Look at those darts per leg. 16 darter to start with, and then everything in 4 or 5 visits to the board. That just makes me feel satisfied looking at it. Neat and tidy.
100.
And Wade is down to a finish after just 3 visits, and Rob Cross needs to fill this up. And he's not going to do it. And James Wade may be about to beat Rob Cross, the world champion, for the 2nd time in a row, and continue his fantastic set of performances on the Euro Tour. 2 semi-finals already this year. That's a little bit of a slip.
Well, Cross has one last chance to hit hard. Can he pack a punch here? You fancy that he needs a couple of trebles. That's enough to leave a finish.
100.
But it is an absolutely enormous one, and James Wade usually eats these for breakfast.
Chow down, Wadey. A 6-5 win against the world champion. And James Wade's through to the final day of action at the European Darts Grand Prix. And we've got another unseeded player in the final session. He joins Jamie Lewis and Danny Noppert as an unseeded player in the last stages of this tournament. Another phenomenal match to close off one of the best sessions of Euro Tour darts you are ever likely to see.
Yeah, make sure you join us tonight for the quarter-finals, semi-finals and final of the European Darts Grand Prix. Michael van Gerwen takes on Dave Chisnell. Jamie Lewis against Michael Smith, Danny Noppert against Joe Cullen, and Simon Whitlock against that man James Wade. He's through. Will it go his way today? We're going to hear from him hopefully in a moment with Dan Dawson, and we'll see you back again tonight, 7:15 local time, 6:15 if you're in the UK. Join us for the quarter-finals.
A real battle with the world champion there, and you've found a way to come through with some world-class darts once again.
Yeah. James Wade's still got that game. You know, Rob didn't do what he normally does, you know, and I've taken advantage of that. But to be fair, I was quite lapsy-daisy on a few legs as well, so I think it was a fair result.
When you're in that penultimate leg, Rob Cross is looking like he's going to take it all the way. Are you already trying to focus on the last leg decider, trying to steel yourself so you know that you're ready to produce your best?
I think that's an unexperienced dart player's attitude. The experienced dart player's attitude is knuckle down, dig deep. What will be will be. You know, if you score well enough, most players will crumble. You know, Rob isn't a player that crumbles, but you know, I was fortunate that Rob didn't do his job and I did.
Well, you stood up to the test this afternoon. Congratulations, James Wade. The machine safely through to this evening's action. We will return 7:15 for the finale of the European Darts Grand Prix.